Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a podcast Orange. It is good to be here tonight. Joining me as always is my co-host Jack Simmons.
Howdy-ho!
And tonight I wanted to talk about a comedian who, released a special recently that it was a little offensive, made a couple of communities, specifically the trans community, got really mad at them because they said some kind of awful things, if you remember. The comedian's name is Manny Cruz.
We have him here on the show.
We have him here to explain himself. So, Manny Cruz, can you explain
why do you hate Transformers?
Yeah, why do you hate Transformers as a franchise and as a toy brand?
Well, all I want to say is it's been really nice for me to transition into Dave Chappelle. The millions have been great.
Whoa. We didn't say that. We just said you're also transphobic.
Well, you get it.
You're like, listen, man, I'm closer to Dave Chappelle than you will ever be.
I am Dave Chappelle.
Let me just say that Dave Chappelle is the greatest stand-up comedian of all time. If you haven't seen many stand-up comedians. I'm just kidding. No, I love Dave Chappelle.
No,
he's a great guy.
Dave's like...
What are we? We're three fucking hacks from North Shore, Long Island.
I'm not from North
Actually,
Shore.
Manny's from South.
Yeah, Manny's from Brentwood.
I'm from South Shore.
Manny's from South Shore.
At least Manny's from the hood. You
are
from
your garbage ass bubble.
Three fucking vulgarian douchebag hacks talking about Dave Chappelle. One of my favorite comics of all time, has released two specials, which are two of my favorite comedy specials ever. For What It's Worth and Killing Them Softly. And I saw his last special last week with Tom, and I thought it was fine.
Yeah, it was alright. I mean, Manny, you earlier you gave it 2 out of 5. I gave it 3 out of 5. Why so harsh? Why 2 out of 5? It seems a little low. I mean, I'm not saying it's that good, but like 2 out of 5. What's?
I actually own like
something not telling us about your identity. You have a certain operation lined up or something.
Sure. If you call it...
Just admit that you're trans, goddammit! No, I'm sorry.
Wow. All right,
that was a little explosive.
Calm the fuck down. I might have...
Sorry.
Do you guys have like a water spray? I could just like spray it.
Hey,
calm down, white man!
You know we hate the water.
Tom will scratch. He'll scratch the couch.
But yeah, give your honest review of this special.
So I listened to his first special that he put out in Netflix. And I listened to that almost like daily, and I feel like the writing on that was pretty nice. Mm-hmm. Everything was pretty resonant. Like, I think he brought up OJ even in his third special.
He brought him up a few times.
Yeah, even in like the trans world, like he talked about it a lot in the first one. He talked a lot about like race and ethics and stuff. And I think like this time he was just focused on, he was transfixed on being like this person that
he was
like,
transfixed
I feel like
trans people.
He's just transfixed on being like the guy today. Or the voice. And like I think this one, I feel like I was outright like disappointed. I've watched everything in my lifetime. I've watched everything he's put out. So I feel like, even Nas fans feel like, there's like one album at least I don't like, or Eminem, or like Jay-Z. They all put out shit.
Yeah, everyone has, you're right, that's true. Every artist is going to have that one album that's just not that great. And a lot of times, especially if they've been out for a while.
Not Hannah Gadsby. All of her things are not great.
And I feel like we...
now that's the GOAT.
All of her things are not great. That's why I said...
And
she's the greatest. She's the GOAT. Gassy, old, I don't know. I couldn't think of an acronym.
She resembles
gassy, old, annoying thought.
And here's the thing: we're not like. Here's the thing: is that I think it's hilarious that the writer of Half Baked has released a comedy special, and that has become sort of a major political divide in this country.
Yeah, really.
It's like, let's put things into perspective, people.
I mean, that's kind of one of the main thing that annoyed me about this special. Isn't even like necessarily that, because I did laugh at parts of it. There were parts of it where I was laughing pretty hard. Parts of it where I was like, right. And then parts where I just wasn't laughing. But what annoyed me is that Dave is trying to be this like comedy philosopher now. Like he's clearly trying to hit that brand.
Trying to be Carlin.
Where he's like I'm the comedian who comments on everything in society, and I can say what I want, and everyone's gonna worship my cred. And it's like
technically he has
boring.
The best writing credit you could have. The best accolade is the Mark Twain Award. And
that's true.
He's one
yeah, he does have it, but that, you know, being a good writer doesn't make you like the untouchable social commentator of our society. Like, you're still just a comedian. Like, you know,
and also,
just, you know,
also, like, I mean,
Mark Twain was a known sex trafficker.
Was he?
No, I'm just kidding.
Wow.
I can't really say that. I might get sued.
Yeah, you don't want to out people.
The ghost of Mark Twain.
Yeah, go on.
So, his perspective is a black man who's also Muslim, and I feel like
he's also what?
He's Muslim.
Dave Chappelle's Muslim?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, like if okay, listen to the first episode of the podcast he does. He actually does a prayer, like an opening.
Is it Allah
Akbar?
I mean, hey, Long Islanders, you're really doing a great job of yourselves today. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I know. We walked right in.
I feel like I'm in Staten Island.
Hey, whoa, that's going too far. You can't compare us to that shithole.
Right, you can't compare us to a smaller version closer to New Jersey.
Listen, say what you want about Long Island, but Staten Island is
the
toilet of New York. Staten Island is just where it literally is the toilet. It's where all the garbage, all the shit and waste goes. If when Manhattan, New York City took a shit, and that shit just stuck around forever, and that was Staten Island, you fucking shitheads. Fuck you, Staten Island.
I mean, look,
sorry, go on, Manny.
Damn, that was really, really...
that was heartfelt.
You hate Staten Island more than Dave Chappelle hates trans people.
I lived in Staten Island for like 3 months.
I know, proving my point.
Christ.
That's what I was saying.
I'm not even this passionate about it.
Staten Island, more like Fatten Island.
Oh!
Because they're fat. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
More like...
anyway, getting back to Dave. Honestly, I think what annoyed me also is that it's not like the special is even offensive per se, at least not in the way that I originally understood offensive. Like, when I used to hear the word offensive, I used to think that meant very, very sexual, saying, like, you know, talking about really dirty sex, or, like, maybe, you know, getting a little dicey with racial issues and stuff, or, like, saying some bad words. But, like, you know, it's never really just, like, saying an opinion that you know people are going to disagree with. Like, I never thought of that as offensive or edgy. Like, I always just thought of that as, like, you know, whatever you want to call it, reactionary.
Right.
Like, offensive is like Doug Stanhope has a joke about, like, Siamese babies that were born with a head on top of another head. And he's like, they had to amputate one of the heads. I mean, obviously they did the top. You can't take out the lower one and put the top one down. Like that's what I think of as, like, an offensive joke.
Right.
And people are like, can you believe this Dave Chappelle special is so offensive? I'm like, it wasn't really that offensive.
How offensive
he was
is going to be if Netflix greenlit it?
He was definitely trying to be a dick, but it's not that offensive.
It's not going to be that offensive if Netflix greenlit it. And also, I don't know. I remember, like, his older comedy, which I like some of his newer.
Yeah,
Netflix
the Chappelle
stuff,
show is more offensive than this
special
by a lot.
Hands down.
Remember the racial draft?
Yeah.
Like, they literally had like a L'chaim, like, Jew. Like he had like the stereotypical straight up, like, and that was on TV.
Well, yeah, they had especially the NI blank word family that I can't say because but
God, I thought you were just gonna spell it out. I was like, all right,
cancel. I for one need you to clarify what you're talking about and say the full word so that I can understand.
It's a word that is commonly
maybe we should call Dana.
Can you put it in a sentence?
I feel like I'm on the spot here.
Yeah.
So anyway, but the thing I like about his old specials, right, is that it's a lot more of like just jokes. Like I remember, for what it's worth, just starts off with this made up story about him on a bus and some homeless guy is jerking off and holds the whole bus hostage because he's gonna I'm gonna come all over you guys, and like that shit's great.
Yeah.
And I like some of his new stuff too, but like I don't know, the whole thing where he just gets on a stool and chain smokes and just pontificates for an hour, and it all comes off as very, like, self-important, self-congratulatory. This thing, like, say what I'm not gonna shit on this too much.
Actually, I'm pretty sure that's Dave Chappelle calling. I think he's pissed at you.
Sorry,
you're calling him self-congratulatory and shit, and he's not gonna take that.
Oh, you still.
I'm almost positive that's his people.
You still have that thing where it says call. I hate that. That should
Can you believe that of all the houses in the world that this house still has like a
Tom's mom's basement, everybody.
I got rid of my home.
Yeah, I don't know. He might imagine there's a message. It's just like, yeah, this is Dave. You tell Jack Simmons to shut the fuck up.
I'm cancel the rest of his career and his teaching job.
I want to tell the superintendent that his real name is Jack Siegel.
I just want to hire him for a day and then fire his ass.
Oh, man. Jack Siegel's dead.
Yeah, I don't know what. Dave's kind of wrong about that. I mean, he might think that, but yeah, Jack Siegel.
Why don't you go back to the trans stuff? You don't know what you're talking about. Jack Siegel. No, not to belabor the point. Not to belabor the point. There was a lot of jokes that made me laugh. I don't know, but you had to, this whole thing had this very self-congratulatory feel. He even said, as the first thing he said when he got on stage, he was like, I'm very rich and famous. And that was just the very first line.
It was a weird way to open. Right. It's like, yeah, we know.
Yeah, that's why you're harder to relate to now.
And that's
why we liked you more when you weren't as rich and famous, because you felt more of a regular.
In the same fashion.
Yeah,
but Kevin Hart, at least, I think the difference with Kevin Hart is with him, it seemed more weird because it was more just about shit in his personal life. And I thought that one was weird. It was kind of like Tiger Woods. They're like, Kevin Hart cheated on his girlfriend. How dare he? And it's like, who gives a shit? Honestly, I do not give a shit.
I'm not going to lose sleep over this shit.
What happened with Kevin Hart? He cheated on his...
Something basically he cheated on her, and then people were like, what's wrong with you? And he made a video where he's like, nah, man, I would never cheat on my girlfriend because I know I don't have to. Which is a weird way to defend yourself. What
happened was he cheated on his wife, so he stood up. Yeah. He stood up and went down on her.
Yeah, so he had to get on a step stool to look her in the eye and have a really serious time.
Never heard the story about the little man on the boat.
Nah, Dave. You know what joke I really did find funny was the one where he was like, okay, it's pussy, but it's kind of beyond pussy.
Yeah, everyone who enjoyed the special likes that one.
Even the people that were pissed off were like, you know what, that's an alright joke. And it's just... Actually, they weren't, though. They were like, it's an alright joke, except you gotta change the punchline to be... It's it's kind of a different joke now, And,
people are gonna cut it to ribbons no matter what. I think the question is what he said really all that bad? Because I think the main thing that people are mad at... What's the question?
I think the question is, which group of people are more annoying? The self-righteous people who want to get rid of all this offensive comedy, or Dave Chappelle's super fans who won't shut the fuck up.
They're both pretty goddamn annoying. They're both pretty fucking annoying.
Anyway, sorry, go back.
Because you're right. I've seen a lot of people who are just sharing this LOL at everyone trying to cancel Dave Chappelle. It's Dave Chappelle's not canceled. The dude's still gonna make millions of at least $500,000 every time he walks on stage. He's not canceled. Second of all, it's not like everyone is trying to cancel Dave Chappelle. There's a small subset of freaks on Twitter that are trying to do it.
Yeah, the Netflix people actually said that we stand on board with what happened.
At least the CEO did, yeah.
Yeah, and oh yeah, some people got fired and all this
shit.
Because they leaked information.
This one trans employee. Here's the reason she got fired, though. People think she got fired because she spoke out, but actually, what happened is they were having a board meeting, and she just barged in and and then she was like, "Yeah, motherfuckers, you can't do this," and they were like, "You can't just barge into a board meeting. You're fired."
I saw somebody.
Oh my god!
You can't just barge in. Look, you have a point, but you can't just.
Unless you're taking our fucking lunch orders, get the fuck out!
You're either bringing us coffee or you're staying the fuck out of here. So.
All right. So, coffee, anyone?
I saw somebody write
Could you imagine that you're ready to storm in and finally give your bosses the business? You're gonna speak to them eye to eye, and the first thing they say is, "You can't just barge into this meeting like that. You're fired."
Yeah. Just before you even start,
you didn't even get a word in. You're like,
nah, you gotta get out. They don't even just go. No, they put their hand on their face.
They do the finger shh.
You are F-I-R-E-D, bitch.
Then a bunch of noise makers. They get noisemakers and
I saw somebody be
confetti and shit.
Oh, the DJ
gotta fire
I would love to be so rich to do that.
Yeah, right.
I was just like, what do we do here again? We don't even have titles. I'd be like, we just aimlessly getting money to just hang out. Yeah, you're all fired now.
You're fired.
I feel like Vince McMahon or some shit.
I saw somebody write like, so what? You're not allowed to go into. Since when aren't you allowed to just enter meetings and talk to people? It's like, well, that's kind of everything.
Well, a lot of it's
that's the whole. What are you talking about? Since when can you? How come I can't just barge into my boss? You should just do that at your next.
Yeah,
job.
The next time you have a question.
Hey, fuckers!
Yeah, just barge into a meeting and see how it goes. Just barge in and be like, listen, you sons of bitches, and
just take a
see if they want to keep you.
Yo, honestly, if you walked in a meeting and you had a suit and tie and you're like, listen to me, fuckers, everybody would just think you're like the next UPS guy who just like had an off day at work.
Yeah, they'd be like, you're dressed pretty well for a truck driver.
The UPS store needs me.
They're like, listen, man. They're like,
I want to be manager.
They're like, listen, man, I know you're working hard. The packages go in the back of the building. There's no reason for you to be in here. Please go to the back. But anyway, I think
you just take a pie and you walk into your boss's meeting and be like, before I start, and you just throw like a cream pie in the guy's face, like a Three Stooges cartoon.
Yeah, you're like, yeah.
And then that's... Yeah.
But I mean, I think, all right, we're getting off track here. Getting back to...
No, we're not. This is exactly what we wanted to talk about.
But yeah, getting back to Dave, I think the question is the main thing that pissed people off is that he basically said, I agree with J.K. Rowling. He basically said, like, I'm a TERF. Which,
I tuned out on that.
Yeah,
I didn't even hear that part.
See, that part, basically, he says what, J.K. Rowling got canceled, and, like, basically he said, he's like, all she said is gender is a fact, and I have to agree with her. Like, every human being on the planet had to pass through the legs of a woman. That is a fact. And, like, it's like, I hear that, and I'm like, well... I can see why they're kind of mad about it.
What about some people that were born through the mouths?
Yeah, like what about somebody whose mom identified as a man when they were born? Like, how does that work?
You know what? There are
what about some people who are hatched out of eggs? Yeah. Hello, people hatched out of eggs. We got to remember.
No, I don't know, man. I get why some people are pissed off.
No, because he's basically saying, like, that person who identifies with that political ideology that's directly against you, I kind of see their point. Like, that's basically what he's saying. And, like, it doesn't offend me, but I'm watching and I'm like, you're basically asking them to get mad at you at this point. Like, I don't know if you thought, like, that was going to go over well and they were going to be like, oh, I see, yeah, okay, I can't, because women have babies. It's like... What, are they just going to be like, yeah, I get that? No, of course they're going to get pissed. And he did it knowing they were going to get pissed, which is kind of like why I'm like...
Well, also, it's like the second special in a row where he devotes like 40 minutes of talking about it. Where I was
not even... In Sticks and Stones, he really didn't spend that much time on it. And
he talked about it for a bit of...
It was a little bit of time.
It was like... What are you talking...
This was like literally 45 minutes.
Yeah, I definitely want to see if there's going to be like some sort of editor out there who will actually sit there and watch each special in a way where he keeps like a counter, like how much stuff he talks about with like religion or like Latin people, black people, Asian people, trans people.
Oh, there's people
and then there's definitely going to be like a total tally of all 6 Netflix specials. Like I'm intrigued to know how much time he's probably exhausted on trans people. And then we can kind of like we could deduce that at that point we can argue that maybe there is some sort of transphobia in the silver lining. Like, it's possible. Because there's truth to power.
He's not even, right? Like, it's just because you kind of have a point there, because it's like, as much as I love Dave and I hate cancel culture and this and that, like, he's not even giving them any kind of rope. Like, he's not saying, like, listen, I understand you guys, I just want to make jokes about you. He's basically saying, like, I don't even really fucking understand you. Like,
well, he's also saying, he does, well... The whole thing that was crazy to me about it, too, was the way that it ended, because he's basically he basically ended it with telling the story about his trans friend that killed herself, and it was just like, I was just thinking, like, imagine if I had a Imagine my Netflix special, right?
If you can suspend your disbelief enough.
But anyway,
if you can really put yourself in a fantastical mindset where there's like dragons flying through the sky and shit, and like wizards,
it'll happen.
And
you shut your mouth.
And Jack Siegel gets a Netflix. I mean, Jack Simmons. Sorry. I mean, Jack Siegel is dead. If anything, Jack Siegel would be the dead guy you're talking about in your special. You'd be like, you see, I took this guy's job, and then we murdered him. He was trans.
No, listen.
He was trans.
I'm the new Bo Burnham.
No, I'm not Bo Burnham. First off, if I had a new special, though, like, imagine I did, like, 40 minutes about black people, that I was like, it's alright, but I had a black friend, and
I'm Jewish.
He killed himself.
Yeah, it's the same.
And it's all your fault. The blacks.
It's like, listen,
the black people, you killed them.
Especially if you're like, especially if you start it with, like, you're like, apparently Michael Richards identifies with this like political.
I agree with Michael Richards.
I kind of agree.
Comedies, Ben Shapiro.
Everything in America was built by a white person. That's a fact.
Isn't it funny too how all these like hardcore Republican douchebags are all like being like, I'm the big, like, I love Chappelle. It's like 5 years ago, you didn't give two shits about Dave
5
Chappelle.
years ago, Dave Chappelle was your enemy. I mean, Dave Chappelle has been shitting on Republicans his whole, like,
and now they're like,
career.
Now, like, they're acting like they've always loved Dave Chappelle or something. Or, like, it's just weird how they've become his biggest,
I will say that in the special, now that you bring up, like, white people and stuff, he had this one joke about, like, the pile of dirt where he only had, like white women with, like, really dirty feet.
Oh, yeah.
That was awesome. And he did, like, the act out and everything. That was brilliant.
No, that was, like, there was definitely a lot of moments like that where it was, like, where I was like, this is quintessential Chappelle, like, doing what he does best, being funny, like... And then a lot of it was just him trying to be like whatever, you know, trying to send some kind of message.
Back to transgender stuff.
Sorry, back to the shit you don't want to hear about. It's like, oh, okay.
I like the part where he went on stage and he was like, I'm Rick James, bitch! And he just started humping a couch. He was like, fuck yo, couch. That was my favorite part of the special.
Yeah, too bad that was in the show.
No, that was in the special. We just saw that last week.
No, Jack.
Yeah, no.
Sorry.
And he had a robe, and he's
Jack,
like, we're at the Player Haters Ball.
Jack, you need to take your medicine.
That was it. And Patrice O'Neal and Rich Voss were there. And
I think,
and we were all sitting around.
Should I call a nurse?
Yeah, Cole's mom.
He's going crazy again.
No, man, it was there. I'm telling you, it was a special.
But to kind of what you were saying, another thing similar to that I find is really stupid, when the people who are mad at him are going on and they're like, see, I never found Dave Chappelle funny anyway. It's like, oh, shut up. Like, you probably found him just as funny as everyone else did. Like, you know what I mean? Like, even if you're mad at him now, like, you can't deny that the Chappelle show was funny. Like,
Don't you feel as though, like, maybe some people kind of responded to the special on what they saw based on, like, snippets on, like, news outlets?
Yeah,
or,
probably.
like, certain clips on.
Oh, yeah, the whole thing's been...
Like,
of course, yeah.
Yeah, the idea here is like, maybe our generation's just too quick to, you know, make their assertions on certain causes, you know? This certain thing, I feel like, blew out of proportion because of those, like, those particular clips that bashed. And they're very one-sided. So, like, in the criminal justice world, I feel like it kind of taught me to just be more, I guess, observant of, like, all the facts. So, like, the facts are, is, like, most people probably didn't even watch the whole thing. I know I didn't. I knew I tuned out a lot, and I think it was very lackluster. So, yeah. I don't know. That's my stance.
I agree with you. I think people do respond emotionally instead of just like taking things in. They oftentimes don't even watch the thing without they'll just be like, this is what the media outlets that I like said about it, so this is my opinion on it, or like, this is what this comedian said about this, so this is what I think, or, you know, and it's all just they can't just be like, let me just sit down and just take something in. And I think a lot of that's due to, like, just the Twitter and the 24/7 just bullshit information fucking shit in your ears that comes from
because everybody wants to have a take, but a lot of people don't have the courage to actually, like, invest their time in something. Like everyone's
courage to invest their. What the fuck are you talking about?
Like
it's a comedy special.
No, but you know what I mean. Like people want to be like, I read this article and have an opinion on it, but really you just read the title and you thought of a quip. You don't have the courage to actually read it. Or you read one line. You don't have the courage to read the whole thing and understand. Like, maybe my view on this is totally off because I didn't have any facts because I decided to make a post about it based on the title.
Some people don't have opinions. They memorize statements and they memorize information that agrees to their preconceived notions, and that becomes their worldview.
I mean, I have a friend who told me, he's like, I'm not going to watch the special because it just seems gross and transphobic, but what do you think of it? I'm like, well, I thought it was all right. But anyway, I mean, you can't know for sure how you feel about it until you watch. Like, you don't have to watch it.
That's what I say about anal sex.
But it's weird to say, I thought this thing I watched was gross. It's weird to describe something you haven't seen. To be like, I haven't watched this thing, but I feel like it's a certain way already. It's like, well, you don't really know yet. You know, like, you didn't see it.
Yeah, it's just so stupid. The whole thing is like, people are taking this way out of control. And Netflix, I gotta say, Netflix is really good for a shitstorm, apparently, because on the 20th, they're having a bunch of people walk out. It's like, everyone's just I mean, it makes sense because this is the most important thing. Like, there's nothing more important in the world to focus your energy and attention on.
Than Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, so I guess that's why.
Than what Dave Chappelle has to say about anything.
Who gives a shit?
See, when I heard about, like, you know, the last mass shooting that happened, for example, whichever it was, the first thing I thought was, God damn, what does Dave Chappelle have to say?
And it's like, and I like comedians hearing their perspectives on things that happen. You know, you want to hear what they have to say because you you kind of relate to them. But I don't know. I just thought most of the stuff he was saying wasn't stuff that people haven't already said, and it wasn't like anything that profound. I saw some people say like this was incredibly profound.
Yeah, but you're like, listen to the message he's trying to send. It's
I'm like,
like
there's a falsehood in icons, and I think like maybe comedy is like a very sorrowful reflection in how we actually see the world. You know, so maybe I think that's how trans people feel about it. So if that's how they he saw them as a whole, then I think in a sort, you know, you kind of have to like really separate the art from the artist and really like identify the quantitative and qualitative aspects of this shit. You know, there is a number here. So I feel like there's a number. What
is that number?
I mean, like remember the amount of time that he actually spends on jokes versus maybe like the amount of time he spends on
wasn't
like
really jokes. It's more like a lot of it was just like stories with something of like a
but he's always been like
a
storyteller.
Yeah, but it used to be something a little different. It used to be more just like punchy.
I mean, you know what? Even if it wasn't, it used to be funnier. I think Dave used to have a different perspective that was, you know.
So if we're talking like first like 4 specials, like that involving the Netflix specials, like he did great.
Yeah, I mean, because he used to have a perspective that wasn't so, I don't know.
That
wasn't
manipulated by money.
He's just trying to be a contrarian now, and it's like you didn't have to try to be that back in the day. You know, he didn't have to try to like push buttons.
Well, the whole thing about like I don't know, the whole thing has just like this very, like I said before, this very self-congratulatory kind of feel to it. He even says. At one point in the special, he's like...
Did you really just take off your fucking sock?
Yeah,
what the fuck?
Hey, are you really wearing socks with flip-flops, you fucking
Jack sells feet pictures in
Did your girlfriend dress you that? You wore socks with flip-flops, so you're in no position to speak.
You wear, like, open-toed sandals at open mic, so...
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, that's better than wearing...
Yeah, you do.
That's better than wearing flip-flops with fucking...
That's a good point, though.
Socks.
These are my house slippies.
Fucking... You know, why don't you guys throw another fucking terrible show?
You can't blame Manny for doing what all Filipino women do.
Shit. Yeah, I transitioned into Dave Chappelle's wife.
He's got a wife? I didn't even know he had a wife. Does he have kids?
He's into nothing.
Does he have kids? I don't even know.
Yeah, he has like 3 kids.
Yeah. Okay. A lot of these guys, imagine that being kids of one of these people, you'd probably think it was lame. Like, you'd probably, like, imagine if, like Like, I think of, like, Bert Kreischer's daughters. They're probably just like, oh, he's so fucking lame. And, like,
corny,
yeah, he's just, like, such a corny, like, his comedy's so cheesy. Like,
imagine bringing that motherfucker to freaking parent-teacher conferences. He'd be like the poorest reflection of their household.
Yeah, because he's just like.
He'd be like, "What do you guys live on? Fucking like Jägermeister and
he's got his shirt
horse piss freaking beer."
And they all look exactly alike. It's crazy. His family.
Yeah, they all have beards and fat tummies.
What I was saying before you rudely interrupted me, but was at one point.
I'm sorry, Your Highness.
Was at one point in the special.
The Queen of the North Shore of Long Island is speaking.
I'm actually the king.
The Queen, the Majesty.
So at one point in the special, he says he's the goat. Like, the greatest.
Well, he says what many people would call the GOAT.
Yeah,
he's like, what many people would call the GOAT, but yeah, heavily implying
that he's the.
And I mean, to say Dave Chappelle is the greatest of all time,
you can have that opinion.
Well, he can be your favorite, but like, I mean,
he's great.
I don't know. I think
hilarious.
It shows an ignorance of comedy history to say that because I mean, like, even someone like Paul Mooney is higher on the list than Dave Chappelle.
See how Tom has to bring up another black guy?
Yeah, I had to bring up a black guy. What was I supposed to do? Bring up fucking... what about Dice Clay?
Hey!
You know.
No, but, like, even someone like that... Like,
dude, white people went crazy for Andrew Dice Clay.
Oh, back then,
Back in
the day, he had an album that was, like, #1 on the charts.
Ziggy's?
At one point.
Ziggy's had a show, like... I don't know. I went there just to, like, perform once. And they had Andrew Dice Clay on the TVs, and Jay was like laughing his ass off at the time, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Dude,
that
shit was like a rock
I don't
concert.
see it.
Back then, it was just so that was the vibe.
That was offensive.
Like, it was.
That was.
I mean,
that was
shit's
on
really offensive
on
like,
purpose.
Yeah, it was meant to be offensive. Like back then, like I mean, he would say shit. Like you didn't even laugh at what he was saying. It was just his voice. Like he has this joke about like gay people in the park. He's like, I saw these 2 gay people in the park. And, recently they passed a law in New York. You can't smoke a cigarette in the park anymore. You can't smoke a cigarette. But you can butt slam your buddy on the park bench, and I guess that's okay. Oh, all right. I guess don't get caught smoking a cigarette while you're doing it, though.
Yeah. Like, a bunch of white people like, whoa!
Yeah. I mean, at the time, in homophobic 1990 America, it hit so hard. Yeah.
Well, he also had, like, one...
Yo, fuck that movie with Denzel Washington and fucking whatever that dude Castaway. Hey!
Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I mean, but I think the reason people...
God. He has AIDS, man, I'm telling you. Well, there's actually... I was watching this one clip. Dice was performing this show in Vegas in, 1988. And that stuff was really like a rock concert. At one point, he just, points to this blonde woman up front. He's like, hey... Why don't you take out your tits for the whole fucking crowd? And she just takes off her shirts and she goes, whoa! Just wiggles her and just shows her titties. Like, hey, look at those titties! Oh! And they gets on back to the jokes.
I mean, at the time, it was just such a different world. Like that was totally awesome.
That still is kind of awesome.
I mean, I think the reason Dice people still kind of appreciate Dice is because he really, while he was offensive, he also successfully lampoons that style of comedy because he's so ridiculous and silly. And sometimes you just have to laugh at him for just being him. Like, it's, and a lot of it is like, you don't take it seriously anymore, but it's still pretty funny. But yeah, that shit is really offensive. Like, compared to the new Dave Chappelle, Andrew Dice Clay is like Nazi shit. Like it really is that much about that
Dice
much harder.
Clay got, He was the first person to ever get
he was
real
the first
shitstorm.
He was the first cancel.
When he went to host Saturday Night Live, Sinead O'Connor was supposed to be the musical guest, and she said that she wasn't going to perform. And one of the 2 of the female cast members, Nora Dunn and Jan Hooks, also said they wouldn't be on the show because they didn't like some of his jokes. And so, that's somebody else. And that was before Sinead O'Connor tore up a picture of the Pope on SNL. But, the people were, pissed off at him. So, I mean, this whole thing of criticizing, of celebrities getting criticized and it being, a big controversy for their acts and shit. That's not new. That's not.
But you really do owe it a lot of it to Dice.
Yeah,
he was the first comedy pariah. like the first thing where people were like, "This shit is not."
Well, it was
funny.
after that
Like,
movie that he was in that bombed. His whole career went down. The Adventures of Ford Fairlane.
Well, yeah, that didn't help. But yeah, he was really the first guy where people were like, "This is not funny. Like, this is mean. Like, he's strictly being offensive. Like, we can't have people being like this." And then, back then, like, it didn't affect him until, like you said, like, that movie, and then, like, just when the mid-90s hit and the self-esteem movement really kicked off, like, I think people were just...
I think his career kind of died before that.
Well, the 80s were his peak. Like, 1988, he was probably, like, king of the world, and then, like, for the next 10 years, it was just a steep
Once the
decline.
90s came, like, the 80s were really ruled by, like, Dice and Sam Kinison and Eddie Murphy.
This is white comedy school, Manny. Are you paying attention?
Are you taking notes?
Are you paying?
taking
your binder out?
I'm tuning
out. Binder out.
Man, why don't you talk? I feel like we're taking up all the airtime. What do you have to think? What do you?
I mean, this is your podcast. It's okay.
You're allowed.
I don't want to over talk the guests. We want to hear the brilliant commentary that Manny Cruz has to bring to the table.
Commentary.
You like how I said that with kind of like a little cunty little edge there.
Yeah, it's kind of like you're ripping on him. You gotta give him a break.
Thank you, Ben Carson.
Ben Carson. But yeah, the 90s replaced all that shit and Dice's career went down the shitter really for like 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
And never really came back. I mean, he was in that movie Blue Jasmine.
But that's a Woody Allen movie. So.
No, but after that, he was in A Star Is Born a few years ago. Like, so he's done shit.
Yeah, he has some stuff, but now people are just like, hey, look, it's Dice.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like, oh, wow, he's so good now. It's like, oh, there he is, Dice.
He did a stand-up tour with Roseanne. I don't know how that went.
Roseanne Bob! Hey!
Yeah, the whole thing.
This is a clitoris. Everybody say hello.
A crowd full of Klan members.
I love doing comedy.
Like, you guys are great.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the mask. We're laughing. I promise.
Are you guys friends with Evan Weiss Clay on Facebook?
Evan Weiss Clay. Oh man.
Is that really a thing?
That's a
Evan.
thing.
Here's the thing. Evan. That happened to Evan like a couple of years ago, and Evan hates that.
Sorry.
Like he
Sorry,
really
Evan.
gets upset.
I shouldn't have
but
brought
it is
it
kind
up.
of funny.
Who did the profile?
I don't know who made it, but it's basically just it's a profile called Evan Weiss Clay, where they just Photoshop photos of Evan onto like Andrew Dice Clay.
And they do like the nursery rhymes.
Oh
like,
my god!
Talk about bringer stuff. I love Evan.
I mean, Evan, I love Evan, and I mean he takes a lot of flack that he doesn't deserve, but it is kind of funny.
We all take flack. You guys were ribbing me earlier, and you guys hurt my feelings.
Yeah, we gave you a little bit of ribbon.
You guys hurt my feelings.
We get a little ribbon there.
I'm gonna cry.
A little bit.
You want to stuff your face in some pizza? You brought it in anyway.
Yeah, you fucking had to bring food. You couldn't just.
You were like banned you from not eating on air. So
listen, just be like, listen, guys. Maybe in a half hour later, I want to eat. Instead, you show up with like a bunch of food just for you. You're like, hey guys, I plan to.
Oh,
eat
he's a half hour late. I was like,
I wasn't a half hour late. First off, you fucking idiot, you were the one who said originally 6:30, and then you had to fucking backtrack it because you're the one who always backtracks it. So I don't want to hear any more goddamn shit.
I said around 7.
You know what? We were supposed to do this the other day, and you fucking made it done.
I feel like that's how all white people complain. Is that? Am I right on that?
Yeah. See, that was.
Look, I am fucking sick of your whining here, Tommy.
That's what Jack sounds like when he goes to CVS.
I'm sick of this flu shot. I'm sick of these masks.
Yeah. Oh, so
I can't even fuck my wife.
What else did I want to ask?
You don't even get the flu shot. So.
I
had other questions for Manny. Manny, what did you do with Gabby Pettito?
You like tell me, fucking you white ass motherfucker.
That she was strangled. You know something. So
you look at your fucking arms, man.
Go.
Those look like protrusive ass fucking Gabby Pettito wrangling arms.
Gabby Pettito, I got them Pettito wrangling arms.
Yeah.
That's the only way he gets women to talk to him. Tom, is he starts choking.
Yeah, my arms stretch out like Mr. Fantastic.
As soon as he's
like, wait, he's like, yeah, you'll be able to yeah.
The only time a woman talks to
you up and
Tom
choke you.
first is when she's saying, please stop!
Jesus Christ, I didn't realize this was roast Tom hour now.
I had this
I'm
joke.
trying to take it off myself.
I had this joke that was
Go ahead.
Not
Have
the
your
one
fun.
I did about him being like close to fucking what's his face, Brian Laundrie. And I had like a different,
you did,
differently written.
That's right, Manny and I had a roast battle the other night. Manny won, but I personally think it could have gone either way, if I have to say so myself.
The joke wasn't as well executed as Gabby Pettito was.
Not bad. Not bad. I gotta give you that one.
Jesus Christ. Wow.
Yeah, Manny, you certainly dug yourself in a deeper hole than Gabby Pettito was put into.
Yeah, so says the fucking loser.
I got robbed.
I'm
just
saying.
Like Devin. No, I'm kidding.
I'm just saying that roast went downhill faster than her corpse.
Jesus Christ.
I'm just saying the laughs.
Come on, we're on a roll. We're on a roll.
I'm just saying the laughs in the when Manny spoke, the laughs in the room disappeared faster than the van they were driving.
Wow. Jesus Christ.
A couple of your jokes were breathtaking. Just ask Gabby.
Yeah, not gonna lie, Manny, it seemed like you were choking up there a little bit.
Wild.
Sorry.
Oh my God.
No, it's really sad.
All right, let's change the swift of this topic here.
I mean, it's just a it's just a news story that it's like, you know, it's funny because it's like.
Hey, you're in the kitchen,
kind of
man.
Like,
you should have been
in the kitchen.
You got to take that heat.
Yeah, man.
In the kitchen, man.
Can't fuck with the deceased too much. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. It is.
Well,
bad
I mean, you can't fuck with the deceased unless you want to fuck the deceased, like Gabby Pettito's ex-fiance.
I mean,
sorry. That one, I stumbled over that and it didn't make it
is
good.
bad. It is bad food. We might get haunted by her ghost, but considering she's a blonde, she might get like the wrong house by mistake. Sorry, I was supposed to haunt these other people.
Oh, could you imagine being haunted by a basic blonde? It's like, do you have any decaf in here? It's like, oh.
What's your Wi-Fi?
She just phases through the wall and starts using your Keurig.
Not vegan.
It's like, did you ask if you could use the Keurig? She's like, fuck you, bitch. I can just phase through the floor.
No more K-cups.
You never have any food in this house. Like, God, it's dumb. Fucking.
It's like, would you mind taking your feet off the seat? And she just like phases them into the. She's like, there. How about that?
They still haven't found Brian Laundrie.
No.
That dude is on the run.
Yeah.
That guy is gone. That guy is gone like my dad.
We've talked about theory. What is your theory? Where do you think he is?
Apparently he's like in the Appalachian Trail. There was like some sightings.
But why would he be there? Like why would he think about it? If he's trying to run away, why would he go somewhere that he could die or get found? Like he's gonna run to the wilderness?
He's like not like an expert, but he's like a little bit above like an amateur. Like,
but what's more likely? He tries to live off the land, or like he runs away somewhere else?
I honestly don't know.
He could really be anywhere in the country.
Like, even his sister was interviewed, and I thought that was pretty.
His sister talked to police? Because I know the rest of his family didn't want him.
She spoke to like reporters, and which can also be used, against her in a court of law. Anything can and will be used against you.
Right.
So,
but it's easier to say you were lying to the media than to the police.
Yeah, much easier.
Because it's legal to lie. You can say whatever you want to the media. I mean, you can't slander somebody, but you can say I don't know.
I mean, I feel like she's probably underrepresenting how maybe well-adjusted he is to the wilderness and being on his own. Even so,
she
says that he's not.
There's only so long that somebody could and he's just a kid. A kid relatively. He's in his 20s, but there's only so long so that somebody could be in the middle of the woods. Living off the land. Even if you find a lake that you can drink water out of, and you hunt and kill a pig.
Unless
you know who really fucked up on this one? The police.
Yeah, the cops. Yeah, because they were basically she was like, listen, I'm really terrified of this guy, and they were like, listen, why don't you stop being such a stupid bitch?
Yeah, have you considered not letting?
Have you considered getting back in the kitchen?
You know what we need? You guys know what we need. This guy's missing. We need.
What do we need?
We need Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Yeah.
He hurt his ankle.
Yeah, he's old. He's like, I'll get Brian Laundrie.
He'll get out of retirement.
I'll get Brian Laundrie as soon as I take
my wife died.
You better believe I'll catch that.
We gotta get Dog out of retirement
as soon as I take my dialysis medication.
The real dog.
I think it's funny because I saw an article where police basically announced they're like, if Dog, just to let everyone know, if Dog the Bounty Hunter finds Brian Laundrie, he cannot legally do anything. Like he cannot approach him. He cannot apprehend him. Like,
hey, get back here!
Yeah, it's like, hey, stop! You're Brian Laundrie.
And you're wait, what? You're Dog the Bounty Hunter? Yeah. That's exactly what I feel like.
Because that's the thing. Like. All you'd have to do is lightly jog away.
You look like a fucking dickhead.
Yeah, he did. He's like a hipster douchebag look. I saw this picture of him wearing like a Hawaiian t-shirt with like.
Now we gotta like go in on him now. We just gotta like equal out the balance.
Yeah, Brian.
Gabby would just be like, yeah, that's exactly what I think of him.
If we were roasting Brian Laundrie right now, we would definitely have to win the battle. Otherwise, it would look really bad.
All right, ready. What do you guys got?
So Brian Laundrie disappeared after possibly murdering his fiance. I don't know. That's a setup. Somebody give me a punchline.
Brian Laundrie.
Brian Laundrie disappeared after. Fuck.
Dude, he. I saw this picture from on the.
Brian
beach.
Laundrie used to want to be a magician. He also disappeared after possibly murdering his fiance. At least one of your vanishing acts worked. Oh.
Yeah,
damn.
I don't know if he probably didn't.
That's a nice turnover rate.
He probably didn't want to be a magician. So
Brian Laundrie, more like non-convicted murderer who's gonna go to jail one day for murdering somebody.
Oh my god, what a burn!
Boom!
Oh, that was hot.
Dude, you see that one picture of him on the beach though, where he was wearing like a Hawaiian shirt and cargo shorts? I was like, what a tool. So yeah, that's my burn.
Yeah.
Fuck him.
He looks like everybody that you find drinking at a tiki bar.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I don't know why the cops are looking in the woods. They should be looking at every tiki bar in, like, the southern hemisphere.
He looks like a hipster.
Yeah.
Like, he should be working on a screenplay in a coffee shop really loudly. You know? I don't know. I think they need Dog the Bounty Hunter.
He looks like...
to catch him. I'm serious about this. Going for one last... fucking kill.
He looks like he can't choose between Goodfellas and Argo as his favorite movies. Alright, that would cut that.
Alright, but those are great movies. So
Goodfellas is good. I haven't seen Argo. I don't know.
Did you bite off this person's ears?
Is it
that would be Walter White.
It's a toy Heisenberg, like one of those stress balls.
It's like a stress head.
With the nose.
And I mutilated it and tried to draw a pentagram on the back of his head.
Damn.
Because I was interviewing him about Brian Laundrie and he wouldn't fucking talk.
You fucked up his body more than Brian Laundrie. Oh shit! Yeah, I can't stop now.
See, it won't.
It's like it's like an addiction.
Yeah, perfect.
There we go.
Manny just drew a cross on his forehead.
Maybe Hannah Gadsby knows where.
Maybe
Brian Laundrie is.
Yeah, right. Imagine like she's like, I don't know where he is.
I know. We moved on from the whole thing, but I just want to mention about how Hannah Gadsby.
First of all, I was right. Second of all, I don't know where he is.
He's in my basement. It is funny how
he's tied up. I have him tied up in the basement.
And she starts crying like, "This is my time. I can talk about what I want to talk about.
I can talk about Brian Laundrie in my basement if I want to.
This is my art."
It's like, okay, fine, we won't.
All right,
you can keep him down there.
See, if she ever got interrogated by the police, she'd be a genius. She'd be like, "I can do what I want." The police would be like, "Oh, fuck it."
It's like, okay.
Going away from,
it's like, you know what? We should just let her go.
I am a white woman who has rights.
No good is gonna come of this, you know.
Yeah, I mean, we all know what's gonna happen. Like, we probably, like, who knows? If he ever gets caught, it probably won't be a trial for another few years, and then like. You never know. He might, like, accept a shitty plea deal where it's, like, guilty of manslaughter, 5 years. And then it's like, all right, all that just for all that media hype just so that Manny could draw a dick on the side of my Heisenberg stress ball.
And he wrote, "Cum dumpster" on the bottom.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
You have a pentagram on the back. It's not even that bad.
Yeah. Cum dumpster.
Cum dumpster.
Pretty satanic.
Dumpster. Not
dumpster of cum.
More like dump cumster.
Imagine a whole dumpster.
You know what really kind of like intrigues me sometimes?
No, hold on, guys. Guys, imagine a whole dumpster filled with cum.
I don't want to.
I have thought about it. twice.
I don't want to get.
I thought about it twice, actually.
Yeah, both times.
Once when I was a young boy.
Then I came myself.
Serious ass drugs. I was on promethazine once. And then the other time,
you're laying in bed. You're like, imagine if there was actually a dumpster filled to the
time just feels so slow.
You were in a dumpster filled with.
No. I was thinking, not that I was in it. No, I'm not just like, you know what I would do with $1 million? Just get a whole bunch of cum and make it into like a nice boiling hot tub.
You know what I would do for $1 million? I'd get every single winner of The Bachelorette to stand in a big circle.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
So they fill the dumpster with cum. So
he's
that I can
airing out his feet again. What the fuck?
See, Jack's just thinking about dipping his feet into the cum dumpster.
Manny, you were in a cum fucking dumpster filled with cum though when you were born, right?
I mean,
wow.
I mean, that is also not the same fluid.
Yeah. That one didn't work.
Or was there like a bubbling cum dumpster and Manny just crawled out?
So my mom just like had like the squirt of a lifetime. Like, I didn't even know that was in there.
Your mom just stood in the cum dumpster and gestated for
that
days.
That joke didn't work as
she's dilated
in the execution as it did in my head.
See, it's funny that it was in your head and you were like, hell yeah, that'll work.
It's better than some of the shit you've tried, motherfucker.
Is it?
Oh
yeah.
I want to see Jack and Tom round 2.
Of the episode.
What's that?
Jack and Tom round 2.
Jack and Tom round 2.
Yeah, well, I mean, the first guy.
One guy told me you were robbed.
The problem is the first guy. I roasted Jack Siegel, and he's dead now.
It'll be
Yeah.
round 1.
That sounds like BPD right there.
It would be a round 1 though.
Yeah, it'd be round 1 with Tom versus Jack Simmons.
Roast.
First time.
I don't want to do it though. Because I have a perfect record.
Jack Siegel has entered the playing field.
I'm too good for that. I'm too hot.
I'm
above that level.
Don't feel like he's worth my
I'm an
time.
artist, okay? I don't hang out.
I'm an artist.
Lower myself to your...
I don't hang out in the muck with you guys.
In the muck.
This is
the muck of governance.
This is purely. I do this podcast purely for financial reasons. Okay, it's the only way to make money.
It's the only way.
That's why you're a teacher.
I make millions of dollars. Yeah, well, that's a hobby.
He does this podcast.
Man, teaching is a hobby. This is what I do to make millions of dollars.
Yeah,
this podcast.
Yeah, baby.
By millions of dollars, he means the bread scraps that I feed him every night in the basement.
I got a $500,000 check from last episode.
Oh yeah.
It was
from who? Who made it out to you?
Amway.
Dave Chappelle did.
Dave Chappelle. Make sure you talk about my shit.
Yeah, he's like, but sure, and make sure you have like negative undertones throughout your review.
Yeah, and we did just exactly as he wanted.
So you're welcome. What else do we talk about now?
I don't know, Manny. What's going on in your life? How's slam comedy since we
Oh, you guys broke up.
We didn't break up. I just sort of retired temporarily, for a little while.
You guys broke up.
He's like, you could do the rest of the job you've been doing anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Basically, yeah. That's what
Tom was like, Manny, I'm no longer going to be involved. And you're like, well, you weren't really involved.
Yeah.
So.
No, he was involved.
Yeah, no, I mean, we've all been working, but, what's going on?
I haven't made up shit since, like, we last produced shows at, like, CC88. So, I guess I'm working on a Halloween show on the 29th of this month. And
went on the 31st on Halloween.
It's on Sunday.
So
other people unlike you have day jobs.
I do have a day job. It's called being fucking awesome. And it's my
How early do you have to get up?
Are you like the CEO?
And it's my night job also.
You just makes up inflated numbers. He's like, yeah, quarter 4 with like $5 million.
I'm selfish.
Has like a briefcase that he brings in during dinner time. And his family is so white he calls it supper.
What?
He's like, Mom, look at this. And he like opens up the
thing
for supper.
Is that thing that white people are the only ones that call their dinner supper?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's a lot of black families.
Time for
where they're like,
yo,
sweetheart,
come on back. We're gonna have some supper. No,
that doesn't sound right.
Doesn't sound right at all.
Hey, come on, we're gonna have supper.
Oh,
God. You should be familiar.
Why?
You want supper now? Get in there. We have supper now. That's an angry Korean dad who's like very demanding of his children. You know? Get in here now. We make supper. You eat now.
Manny, your father. I didn't know he was Korean. Angry.
Yeah. I
you become doctor.
How did you guys meet? My dad and you.
We were both yelling at each other.
Manny, Jesse, I was placing a takeout order, and I was like, "Hey, are you Manny's?"
So you're like, whatever.
I was ordering takeout, and I was like, "Hey, are you Manny's dad?" And he's like, "What you want? What you want?" You're like, "You're Manny's dad."
You're Manny's dad now.
You go to have supper now. You come in down there. Rahul, you come to dinner now. We having supper. I'm just kidding.
Oh God.
Shout out.
I wonder if that's like Raul comes downstairs. He's like, "Hey guys," they're like, and then they just stare at him, and he's like, "Sorry, hello everybody." They just give him like a death stare until he's like, "All right, hello everybody."
Yeah.
We need to have Raul on.
We do. He'd be a lot better. He'd be a lot better than this fucking lump of shit.
He would have had more to say about the Chappelle special.
I think so. And Jack's feet.
You're really fixated on Jack's feet.
I mean, I smell it. I got my. I got my smell.
OnlyFans if you want to just subscribe. Really.
I think
$15 a month. Can't beat that.
That is pricey as fuck.
I'm a pricey gal. I'm not some cheap whore.
$7.99.
You want to why he's doing cosplay for the whole month of October.
I'm gonna be in my sexy Velma and Daphne get-ups. What's with this whole new generation of everybody lying and saying that Velma was hot? She was like a frumpy fucking...
I would fuck Velma.
Velma's hot. She's
I would.
thick.
Daphne.
She was not frumpy.
Daphne is...
You can say she wasn't hot, but she was not frumpy.
You know what's really hot about her? She's fucking smart.
She is smart.
Come on,
Daphne was just like a damsel in distress all the time.
You mean
I would like to pull Daphne's hair back while I'm done.
Yeah, but you need to tell
motherfucker with an ascot saves the day every time. Get the fuck out of here.
You mean to tell me that when Velma dropped her glasses and she bent over to even pick him up, come on.
I mean, that was not
Come
bad.
on, that's how it's like, yeah, you guys
remember that?
Glasses.
Yo, Velma was on more spin-offs than that bitch Daphne.
That's true.
I love Scooby-Doo, motherfucker.
There was a newer Scooby-Doo show series.
Linda Cardellini was Velma. Whew.
Yeah, there was one new one where they made Velma much hotter, and then they tried to add it in this plot where she has a crush on Shaggy. But the whole time Shaggy's just like, I'm too high for this, man.
Scoop, I'm gonna go masturbate, man. Scoop, what if there was an episode where
Friends faction.
What if there's an episode where
Fred... You're such a ragged. Ragged. You're being a real ragged about this.
Say
Scoop, you gotta lick up my cum with your tongue, dude.
Oh, Shaggy. I have to go.
Like Scoop, I just don't know what to say to this girl.
Pineapple.
Raggy, you're the biggest wussy I've ever read. Jesus Christ.
What if there is an episode where Fred and Daphne are in the bedroom and Fred some ghost comes out to the bedroom and goes boo, and he's like Fred fucking Daphne dogs. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, ghost!
It's like, fuck you, get out of here. It's like, okay.
Shit.
All right, shit. Fuck. Sorry, I thought I was being spooky scary.
This is a kid's show. Jesus. Fucking go. Oh yeah. No, Linda Cardellini.
The Mystery Machine is probably just filled with bodily fluids and nasty ass.
Even
old condoms and shit.
Even the outside
the bong water.
The outside of it.
Probably the whole van probably smells like a jeeb. It probably just smells like a big jeeb.
I remember the first time I started chilling with fucking Tom. The first time we smoked together was out of a fucking jeeb.
Yeah, I used to be about the jeebs.
Christ.
I was literally the jeeb king. I would make them shits out of
smart
water bottles,
fucking
gallon bottles, anything I get my hands on that was a bottle.
Yeah, I remember that too. The gravity bongs do get you smacked, but they are the dirt baggiest thing.
Well, yeah, because it's and it's so bad because the heat of the smoke melts the plastic, and you breathe in some of the plastic when you smoke it, and it makes the weed taste like dead leaves. It's
that was. That's how we bonded over a gravity bong.
Yeah, I remember.
Good old gravity bong. I used to have this friend Damien who was gross as fuck, and he had this disgusting gravity bong.
Yo, who's that guy that watched porn? While we were all at his house on the couch just chilling, and he it was like a circular ass a U. It was like a U couch, and then this motherfucker just started watching porn on his phone. and all we heard was like the like buns being clapped, and then he's like, "Yeah, this is a great video," and you're like,
"Yeah." It was Jack.
Yeah.
She's got pounded.
I wasn't there for this.
You were there for that,
I don't
bro.
know what you're talking
this is
about.
like 3 years ago or something.
I don't know. What are you talking about?
Nobody's
watching porn.
Where was this gathering?
All right, so like
describe this function.
Remember we went out to like the Huntington, the strip out there, and it was like me, you, and like a whole bunch of your like high school friends. It was like some chick named Bridget, but she had a boyfriend at the time.
Oh, Anthony and Bridget and Ann.
Yeah, but it wasn't them. It was like some Spanish dude.
Okay, and he was watching porn.
No, we went to his house, and then like it just got mad awkward out of nowhere. And this motherfucker just starts like, he's like watching it on his like freaking Samsung phone, and he's like, "Yo, man, look at this shit," and I'm just like, "What the fuck? Why would I want to watch that with you?" Like,
because it's amazing, man.
But it was like 4 a.m. and we're all just fucked up.
Oh god.
Yeah,
see, that's something I could like, because I remember being in like 7th grade when you.
I could never just be like, "Yeah, let's watch the same."
Well, it wasn't even like that. It was more like you'd be with your friends, like, "Yo, do you guys want to like watch porn?" It's like, oh yeah, and then you go on like you try to go on like boobs.com, and you go to boobs.com, you're like, "Oh my god, look at those,
dude, it's boobs,"
and you're just like, but none of you are like getting horny. You're all just like sitting there exasperated. You're just like, "Whoa!"
You ever call those 1-800 numbers?
I think one time we tried to prank call it, and the problem is you have to pay, so it's like we didn't know how to like pay, so we weren't able to do it. Like
we, my friends and I, like it was like 2004, and like before then, you could just like call and then you give them the card number after, or like because you get total time, and
true.
Yeah, so we're just like sitting with like a Nextel phone and just going like, "Yeah, so like how big are your titties?" And she's like, "They're round and they're hot for you, Dad."
Oh, I did shit like that. Yeah, you call the numbers and they'd be like,
yo, how big is your pussy? And like was that even a real question?
Your limit.
It's time.
No, I used to do that too. You call a number and be like, "Oh yeah, baby, you've reached like fucking hotbitches.com," or like like.
I didn't know. I always thought you had to pay first.
Nah, well,
I mean, they changed that.
Fuck, I missed that.
I mean, there were some call places you could just like call in. And...
Well, whatever happened if you just hung up without paying? Like, what's gonna happen? It's like there's 3 jack dudes in suits show up at your front door. Like,
I
open up, motherfucker! We want that. We want those 30 cents.
I used to have phone sex in high school.
Did you ever like prank call pizzerias?
Nah,
you never.
That's hilarious.
I had phone sex with my ex-girlfriend, but not in high school.
Did you ever have phone sex with people? Like,
yeah,
back in the day.
I mean, I still do. Like, Anna and I sometimes get adventurous.
One time I was having.
I'm talking with like.
I mean, like, I feel like it's healthy for couples.
One time I was having phone sex, and we were like actually over the phone, like not FaceTime, and it was getting really hard for me to stay into it. So I started like silently watching porn during the phone session, and she's just like, "Oh yeah, baby," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's great," but I'm
what the fuck?
What's with all these commercials?
What? Because it's hard for me to stay horny when I have to hold my like a phone or like keep it on a speaker, keep leaning over to like talk. Like, yeah, it was great. Like,
you got some weak ass dick, man.
Oh,
I can
maybe I just prefer when somebody's in person fucking me.
Well, yeah, everybody prefers that.
Yeah, it doesn't get me hard when they're just over the phone.
Alright, well then you need to...
FaceTiming is one thing because I can see stuff. Like
you should have no problems getting horny at all times. You're a young man.
Oh yeah, get horny now. Show me your hard dick.
I don't need to get horny.
Manny, you ready to see Jack's hard dick?
Been horny since I've gotten here.
Alright, Manny says yes to Jack's hard dick. Alright. Sorry.
Man, this is what all guests do when they come on this show.
Just see your... We didn't fucking filled dick.
We didn't have you do that last time because you only had like 50 minutes on the episode.
Yeah, the first time's free, but this time it's gonna happen.
Yeah,
sorry.
I have to pay for that.
Yep. Yeah. In fact, you'll have to see his dick twice to pay for
$14.99.
Brandon La Caruba asked to see it again the second time. Like, that's only for the first time.
Yeah, it's like, dude, you don't have to. It's only for the one time. It's
like, please.
He's like, come on. I thought this kind
of. That's only my guilty pleasure.
But, yeah, so, like, phone sex, I had phone sex during the pandemic with a lot of women on those dating apps, because they're like, I'm alone, I'm horny, I need to, and so what's weird about having phone sex, though, is that, like you said, you have to constantly talk to be into it. Because at a certain point, they'll be like, what did you say? What?
Yeah, it's like, what was that? It's like, I really want to eat your pussy. It's like, oh, yeah, I really want you to. It's like, what?
It's very awkward. It doesn't lend itself.
I also, with FaceTime sex had its problems, too, because FaceTime sex I could get into.
Yeah.
But, like, the problem was, sometimes you would, like, lose internet, and it'd always be, like, right when I was about to come. I'd be, oh, yeah, baby, that's it. Baby? And then it's just, like, the phone's frozen, and you're like, oh, fuck. It's just like, shit.
Or you run out of battery.
Are you there? Are you still there?
Juice. Fuck.
The other day I was having, I was masturbating I was having Zoom sex with this person, and it was going really well. Like, we were getting really into it. I took my pants off. I started jerking off. And then it was so annoying because the professor asked me to stop because we were in the middle of class. So he was like, can you put your dick away?
Really?
And I was like, all right, fine, I'll do that. And that was the end of that.
Were you also teaching? Were you like being like the teacher in this class?
He's just like, yeah, what is the class even? It's like history of like Vietnam. He's like, so then in 1961, after the French tried to invade, Jack, please put your dick away. And after the French tried to invade,
Jeffrey.
Why would you guys plan to do it during class? That's my first question.
What?
Well, like this.
Jerking off.
Yeah, this jerking off.
This jerking off stuff you're talking
kidding.
about.
It was a joke.
This jerking off jazz.
Oh, fuck, man.
You don't recognize
I'm just so
you don't
busy
recognize a
about
bit
drug.
like when we were fucking... Come on, man.
I mean, you did tell it with an unbelievable seriousness that did kind of
that's the whole...
up my spine.
Yeah, that's the whole deadpan nature of the fucking joke. You dumbass. You act like you haven't been doing a podcast.
This is such a good way to respond. Like, my joke didn't get well. You guys are such dumbasses. Like,
well, it's because you act like you've been doing a podcast for the past year and a half, so you know my sense of humor by now. So
yeah, but the problem is there's this thing in comedy called delivery. That affects the way
and the delivery is
your
fine.
Joke is perceived by the people listening.
The delivery was fine.
It was so serious.
You're just retarded, and you can't pick up on sarcasm. That's why you're a liar and a failure of a human being.
It's that. It could be that, or you simply told a very serious, straightforward story, looking us dead in the eyes like a soulless psychopath, and then you're like, "What? It's a joke," and you expect us to sit there and be like, "Oh yeah, that definitely seemed like a joke," when you told it with the dead, silent face of Jeffrey Dahmer. Yeah, it totally seemed like a joke.
That's how I do my stand-up.
And
totally seemed.
I took
that's
my
what
dick
I do
out
on stage
and
and
tortured the
fucking
class
kills all
with
the time.
my dick.
I'm the ghost.
Fucking killer.
I stab people with their imaginations on fixations of my dick.
Is that what you're writing on Heisenberg's head now?
No, I'm just thinking in the.
Manny's trying to improv.
I'm trying
to no avail. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, this took a very hard. Holy shit!
Wait, hold on. Just
what?
Let's have 1 minute of silence. All right, for the troops. I'm not talking about the American troops.
All right. This sounds like it's gonna go.
Manny, with that backwards hat, you look like Fat Jose.
Hey! We're having 1 minute of silence here.
Is Jose a dishwasher?
Instead of Fat Joe.
Hey, I wasn't kidding. We're having 1 minute of silence.
For what?
Because for the troops.
The troops in where?
And,
what troops are you even referring to? Are they even for this country?
Transylvania.
Oh, there was a war?
Oh, the ones in Israel.
They're the trans people. Transylvania.
The trans people that died in the line of duty.
Oh, for Transylvania.
Dave did make that joke, though, by the way.
Oh, he did? I don't even know that.
Yeah, he said something like, I don't want to act like I'm trying to imagine them like
it's
they all
pretty
came from
stupid. It's a
Transylvania.
pretty stupid joke, so...
Yeah.
I am hold on for Dave Chappelle, alright?
No, it is a dumb joke. I'm not talking... But seriously, alright? I'm starting right now. Go.
You want me to just have a timer? I feel
like keep a stopwatch on this moment of silence.
You keeping time after you've been like a fucking tardiest motherfucker. No way. Hold on. All right, let's do this now.
All right. First off, I'm the least tardy person that's ever lived.
Manny, your sweater looks like that of a white father who owns a boat.
Oh, God. I'll take a minute of silence and I'll think of something for you.
1, 2, 3.
Manny, nice cock.
Thank you very much.
By the way, when the moment of silence was for Al Qaeda when I was talking about the troops. So.
See, that's why I was asking.
You guys just did a moment of silence for Al Qaeda.
This is why
you guys are
asked.
tricked. I got you.
This is why I asked.
I got you.
This is why I asked, and you didn't tell me.
Well, because I tricked you.
Well,
gotcha.
Good job.
You just gave a moment of silence to Al Qaeda.
Oh,
gotcha.
I feel bamboozled now.
Egg on your face.
What's that? Are you judging my laptop? You're like, what is that, an omen? Gay.
I mean, it is a new computer, is it?
Yeah, it's nice. I like this laptop.
It's brand new?
Not brand new. I bought it like several months ago.
Damn, it's been that long.
Honestly, the moment of silence was more interesting than this.
I think we've ran out of steam. But that's alright, guys. We're going to
ran out of steam. Kind of like Gabby Pettito's van after Brian Laundrie dumped it in the wilderness. Oh! See, I still had one.
We kind of ran out of air like Gabby's lungs.
It's safe to say that this bit is definitely dying. Sort of like, well, you know where I'm going with that.
Yeah. I'm in my prime! Okay, guys. Well, Manny Cruz, one final word talking about why Dave Chappelle is the greatest thing to ever happen to the history of...
And why you agree with him on his views on trans people and don't respect their identity. Specifically that, because I know you said
25 words
that, and,
or less.
You know, we want to make sure that you're qualified.
I'll give you an answer next time when Jack actually wears socks.
No, that's a non-answer.
So we'll never get an answer.
That was that was a cop-out.
It was a cop-out.
I think that he is the greatest person that's ever lived in the face of everything. And I think that we are merely ants in his world.
You think pretty highly of Brian Laundrie.
That's what we call a bait and switch in the professional comedy
bit of a
world.
misdirect there.
Okay.
Send you guys out on a whim here.
Yeah. That we hit that curveball pretty hard there.
Mm-hmm.
Tom, anything?
About Dave Chappelle.
Well, I don't give a shit. We're about.
Well, what about?
We're on Spotify now.
Yeah, I mean,
you're
maybe.
on Spotify now.
Eventually.
Jeez, it's
as
been
soon
like
as we actually upload these.
How long have you guys been active? Like 18 months.
Well, now we've
months?
just been kind of dormant because we're trying to figure out how to get on Spotify, which I still just have to use. Now I know my password, so now I just have to create Spotify for podcasters and actually do it.
Sounds like something that's easily doable.
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
Colin Farrell is the Penguin, that Batman you saw that trailer? There's a new Batman movie coming out. Because we haven't had a Batman movie since, 2 years ago.
Yeah, I know. We needed another one away.
We need to have Batman movies until we all die.
Is this your closing statement? Because I'm definitely disinterested of Batman.
Yeah, no,
you're
I don't
disinterested in Batman.
I don't give a shit either.
I am definitely not interested in where you're going with it.
Why do we have another Batman movie?
I don't know. Apparently people will still go see it.
I feel like white people just want to see themselves in film all the damn time. Like James Bond.
It's always race with you.
No, it's just because y'all have like fucking 90+% of film.
Yeah, there are tons of foreign films.
That's not true. That's
not true at all.
Not true. Not all white people.
The exposure is
not all
there.
White people. A lot of them were Italian.
You had In the Heights, man. You know, you're good.
Yeah, that doesn't count. I feel like all Latin people just don't even fucking acknowledge that. Fucking Lin-Manuel Miranda, he could suck a dick.
What do you have
he probably has.
Lin-Manuel Miranda.
I mean, I don't know, man. I just feel like overhyped.
He made
Hamilton?
Hamilton.
I mean, Broadway ain't shit.
All right.
Yeah, Broadway.
Spider-Man was a show on Broadway, motherfucker.
Dude.
Honestly, what is the point of a play anymore? I kind of agree. Like,
my favorite play was Spider-Man. I was there to watch one of these motherfuckers fall from like the scaffolding or whatever.
You just want to watch someone fall.
I was like, yo, that was great.
That was a great show. It's like, I don't know, nobody fell. Nobody fucking fell.
I was like, wow.
Like Fear Factor on Broadway.
It was great. It was awesome.
They should have that.
But Hamilton, really, you charge so many people an arm and a leg just to see.
Well, not anymore. It's on 2-3 Disney Plus.
Yeah, but it ain't the same.
Yeah, no, you want to see it.
If you want to see a movie that's not a simple, stereotypical bunch of old white guys, watch The Irishman.
I hate that movie. I haven't even watched it.
No, I can't get through it either.
Why do you hate? You can't hate a movie if you haven't seen it.
I watched the trailer.
I can't get through the first
You get an idea.
What are you talking about?
Well, that's bullshit.
That's
trailer.
That's bullshit.
Yeah.
I've
watched the first 20 minutes. First 20 minutes really slow for me. I didn't really like it.
I gave it an hour, and then I paused it, and I was like, all right, I'll pick this up some other time.
I mean, like an hour. An hour's a lot of time.
You guys are a bunch of Philistines.
What's a fucking Philistine?
That's a. Google it, fucking idiots. You guys don't know what a Philistine is?
How about you just tell me right here?
That's because you're
maybe
you're a Philistine.
Maybe you're just dumb as fuck and you don't even know what you're saying.
Yeah, maybe you're using that word
You're like
incorrectly.
an uncultured ignoramus. Yeah, an uncultured
Why? Because we didn't watch The Irishman?
No, Irishman's
because
fine.
we didn't watch the full-fledged Irishman.
It's like a fucking gem.
What, you don't like Scorsese now, too?
I mean, I like Scorsese. He's cool.
You know what I watched recently is No Direction Home, his 3.5-hour documentary about Bob Dylan.
Fuck Bob Dylan. His music sucks.
You suck.
Bob Dylan could eat a fat dick.
Why? Why? Because his name is not...
Bob Dylan? I don't know, man. His music is not as transformative as people say. It's just like one-sided ass bullshit.
It's also because he said...
What do you mean it's one...
It's because he said the N-word in Hurricane.
And that too.
What do you mean it's one-sided?
I mean, like, it's just like, I feel like Long Islanders, they would die for Bob Dylan as much as they would buy... Who's that other fucking retard? What's his name? Billy Idol or whatever? Not
Billy Idol?
Billy, whatever.
What?
He's from
Billy
Long
Joel.
Island. Yeah,
Billy
that
Joel.
dude. Yeah, whatever the fuck.
I agree with you, Billy Joel's overrated.
Yeah.
But Bob Dylan is like, I don't pump him, but I mean, at the time, he was just a...
I mean, Billy Idol's more revolutionary.
He was just
than
like, he was just very influential to rock. That's all.
But Billy Joel is trash.
Have
Bob Dylan is trash.
You guys have such strong opinions.
Why are you lumping me in? I didn't even say how I felt about Bob Dylan, and you just.
How do you feel about Bob Dylan?
I like Bob Dylan. I like him more than I don't know.
You have such strong opinions, and they're based on nothing.
I mean,
they're just based on fucking.
Well, you can just say,
what is dog shit? What is the dog shit?
Because you never even listened to any of his shit.
I've tried. Abe Hannigan has played me some vinyl records, and I've tried.
Look, Manny, I can play you some Bob Dylan that you'll enjoy.
Abe would be like Patrick Bateman when talking about his music.
See, Huey
Lewis in the news was...
See, when sports came out in '83, I think they really came into their own commercially and artistically.
Let's see Paul Allen's card.
Then they dropped Hit to Be Square, a song so catchy.
I'd be like, oh, please kill me right now.
Yeah, it's like, Abe, can you please chop me to death with an axe?
Fucking, oh, God. No, but, dude, Bob Dylan, like, what you just don't like him because his name is not Roberto Delon don't know.
I mean, that's a little suggestive, don't you think?
That is a little suggestive.
I mean, is that what your opinion is in the situation?
I mean, Bob Dylan is...
Because I'll just rope you in there.
I mean, you can...
And I'll hog
you could say that you don't like Bob Dylan, that's fair.
I mean, I just have tried to listen to him.
But he's very influential. He's like the Beatles. Like, I'm not a huge Beatles
fan. I think that they're far more
Manny, I'm only saying that because you
say... They are, yeah.
But if we're going to talk like true...
But you have to remember, the person who introduced the Beatles to weed was Bob Dylan. And if it wasn't for them smoking weed, we wouldn't have some of the greatest Beatles music that there is. Yeah.
So what about you Pink
can thank Bob Dylan.
Pink Floyd actually introduced them to everything else.
Well, yeah, but Pink Floyd, remember, they didn't they didn't know the Beatles like that. Like, Bob Dylan was literally the first guy who said, "Hey man, like, this is weed, smoke a joint." And since then, we got all the trippy Beatles shit. Like, damn, so you can thank Bob Dylan for that.
I'm just saying that because you said earlier that you hate all white people, so I'm just saying.
Did I? You want to roll the tape back? I don't know.
Hold on, this is us going back. I hate all white people. It's like, wow, man.
You said you hate like all.
I don't think you said that.
You said to the effect of like.
No, you said white people have like 90% of the movies, which is pretty true.
91% as of 2018.
Oh, 91. Sorry.
91%. And on top of that,
such a jump
on television as well.
Yes.
It's even far more. There's far more white teachers in America than there are any other race.
Sorry, Jack. Big dumb me. I thought it was
music
90%.
Executives, bro.
Yeah.
Mostly white.
Keep up,
and like, I mean, yeah, who the fuck is gonna tell me what to watch on Telemundo? Oh, some fucking white guy.
Yeah. Hey, here's the thing though, it's not all unbalanced like that. Like, yeah, we have most of the movies and other stuff, but you guys have like all the salsa dancers. Come on.
Well, I mean, salsa dancers come from all across the globe.
Yeah, people but come on.
That's more resonant. Like, dude, I have gone to like salsa conferences.
You guys have George Lopez.
I've seen it, dude. There's so many people from all across the globe. I've never freaking heard of some Nicaraguan immigrant going like, "Yeah, man, Bob Dylan." No, yeah. You know who really resonates with them? The Beatles, freaking Red Hot Chili Peppers, goddamn like shit like that. Like Alice in Chains, even.
What a weird bunch of bands to lump together.
Yeah, they would like, dude. Like my brother is from Nicaragua. I could ask him right now who the fuck he thinks is great, and if I gave him like Bob Dylan or who's like a different contemporary,
Rolling Stones,
like a single person.
Oh,
James Taylor. Who do you think? Like
he probably who the fuck is James Taylor?
Maybe I don't know.
They're only big names
Elvis
here.
Presley.
Elvis Presley, yeah, exactly. Those are like the two likeliest.
Elvis is
unlikely
pretty overrated.
people.
I'll admit Elvis is like.
You're talking about two completely different people.
Yeah, but that's why I said contemporaries.
But I think the point Manny's trying to make.
Contemporary Bob
it's not just about. It's not just
really
about Bob
Dylan. Then, not now. Then.
I think the point you're trying to make, Manny, is like it's not just about Bob Dylan. It's more just about like
representation
because of white
people,
because of the white dominance of entertainment over the years. Someone who might have seemed more lukewarm if they came out today, like Bob Dylan, was able to be seen as a legend because he was just in the right place at the right time in white America.
But he wasn't, like, his stuff was very revolutionary.
Well, yeah, he was very controversial. That's one thing. He was a hippie. He was a big hippie, and he used to speak, quote, heavy air quotes, truth to power. He used to, like, he has songs that are anti-war.
It wasn't air quotes.
I say air quotes because I hate that phrase, truth to power.
It pisses me off that Marvin Gaye isn't even held to the same level as Bob Dylan.
Marvin Gaye is a legend, though.
Well, he is. He's far more of a greater legend.
Chuck Berry is held higher than Bob Dylan. Chuck Berry's black.
Why compare them at all?
I'll have to listen to that.
Chuck Berry's considered the true king of rock and roll.
Yeah. Muddy Waters is great. All those people.
You know who's mad dope? That has like who died recently? Charles Bradley.
What's he in again? I forgot.
He's like from Gainesville, Florida, and he was like,
"Hey, UF, yeah,
and he was like a sensational singer. He had like stomach cancer.
So was Tom Petty. Tom Petty was also from Gainesville.
Yeah,
damn.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You know who else is a legend?
What was this dude's name again? Oh, fuck that bitch.
Yeah.
No way. I tell my girlfriend that all the time.
Dude, Madonna.
You just come home.
She's like,
I love that. Anna's just like making like dinner or something or like cleaning.
Hey, Madonna sucks.
Hey, babe, listen to me. You know Madonna? Fuck that bitch.
Yeah. She's like, she's so powerful, her voice. And I'm like, yeah, really? Fucking like
It's like, you need to tell me you like that? Fuck that bitch.
How about Shakira? Like that bitch is still shaking ass.
Shakira? I always thought it was funny how Shakira's hot, but when she sings, she sounds like she's fat.
Yeah, she sounds ugly.
Yo, she's like, oh my
right? But she's far better than J-Lo. Fuck that.
J-Lo's hot.
J-Lo is hot as fuck.
She's overrated.
Well, in terms of all that...
I mean, dude, she's
not... Alright, now we finally have a
Hispanic
fucking famous person, and you're like, this is overrated.
Yeah. I think
Take your battles.
Mad Land people think she's
Ricky
overrated.
Martin?
Ricky Martin?
Hey, now inside
not my cup of tea.
Not
my cup of tea. I think I'd rather listen to, like, Enrique over Ricky.
Yeah.
What about the guy who made La Bamba? La Bamba.
Oh, Ricky, whatever the fuck.
Richie Valens.
Richie Valens, yeah.
I watched the movie with him.
Lou Diamond Phillips.
Yeah, I saw that movie. Yeah. And then his brother was like looking up at the sky and like ran into some barbed wire. He was like, Ricky!
Yeah, he died.
And then it fades out, and then it fades to black, and then all you hear is... Lou Diamond
Phillips.
You know who I also thought was overrated? Actually, this is more like the way you see Bob Dylan is kind of how I see this person, Buddy Holly. I really don't
Who
get
the fuck is Buddy Holly?
Buddy Holly. He was also considered one of the greatest rock stars of all time. But like to me, he's just like a nerdy white guy with glasses. It's like I don't understand why he was so fucking popular.
What was that dude's name you were talking about? Charles or Chuck Berry.
Chuck Berry. Chuck Berry was great, but he does have one moment where he owned a restaurant and he put video cameras in the women's bathroom, and he did catch a lot of flack for that. Jeez. But otherwise, he's the king of rock and roll, baby.
He's a player, man. That's what you gotta do when you're a player. That's what you gotta do when you're on top.
Fuck. James Brown, didn't he like do a whole bunch of coke or crack with his wife, and then they like bashed some chick's head in and like...
Did they?
Not like where she was like devoid of consciousness for a little while, but then they just like fucked her for like a whole week or some shit. But it was like a drug bender and both and three
Jesus
ends.
Christ.
Yeah, they had a great time apparently, but then like
they had a blast.
Towards the end of like James Brown's life, he had a mugshot that looked hysterical. Let me look that shit up right now.
I'm glad they had a good time doing it, not a bad time.
Yeah, right. Nobody wants to have a bad time when they're going on multiple day drug benders.
How are you doing? You know.
Yo, this is like day 5 of the bender.
All these famous people doing some crazy shit, man. It's freaking nuts.
Yeah, but hey, Jackie, you stop touching the mic cord with your foot. Like, it's like, literally, we're going to be listening to this episode, and it's like in between everything's just the sound of a wire moving.
What's this? Why you guys... I don't like all this.
Why are you touching the equipment?
I don't like all this criticism. You guys are mean to me.
Listen, this microphone cost me $30 whole
why?
dollars.
Is it because I had to
This microphone cost me $30 whole dollars. And you think you can replace that?
Did you get it for Christmas?
You need another mic.
It cost you $30, motherfucker.
Oh, that's James Brown.
Oh, wow. He does look pretty funny.
At the end, yeah.
That guy looks like
trans people were getting arrested even.
He looked homeless, man. He was like, shit.
Yeah, I mean, famous people, especially back then.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Back then, like, nobody was watching famous people, so they just did whatever they wanted.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like, I mean, what's his name? Miles Davis was, like, a raging heroin addict and, like, known, like, woman beater.
Oh, Miles Davis beat the shit out of his wife.
Yeah, yeah.
And
he would, like, fuck hookers. Also, the drummer for the Eagles got, like, arrested in Europe because he was having sex with 2 hookers that turned out to be both 14. Yeah. And, like... It just kind of never turned into anything because people were like, listen, man, it's 1985. So what?
Really? No, people, like, they did tons of that shit. I mean, the 70s, like, actors.
I mean, even someone like Jimi Hendrix. Like, Jimi Hendrix didn't do anything bad, but, like, what kind of guy really was he? Like, you know, he was probably just the dude who got, like, fucked up all the time. Like, he was probably just always high and just like,
Yeah, man.
It's like, hey, what's up, Jimmy? He's like, yo, what's up, man? I don't even fucking... know what's going on, right?
Oh, yeah, no.
It's like, you know, and then Janis Joplin, just raging alcoholic. Like,
well, Bowie, too.
Yeah.
And even people like in the 80s, like Bruce Springsteen was a big party. Like, he became a huge alcoholic.
Bruce Springsteen.
And
she's like, dude, I just snorted 5 lines off of this chick's tits with Bruce Springsteen. It's like, what?
And
crazy.
I think Bob Dylan also had like a drinking problem, if I'm not mistaken.
I mean, back then, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. That was like the truth. Like, it was like, literally, like, all we do is, like, fucking do drugs when we're not making music. Like, that's pretty much our life.
We should be doing that.
Yeah. Like sex, drugs, and podcast orange.
Sex, drugs, and comedy. we only have the comedy part and the drugs.
Honestly, I think we only have the drugs.
And not even really just weed.
Yeah, right.
We don't even do fun drugs.
Weed, open mics, and...
like, hardcore drugs become less appealing as you get older. Maybe it's just me.
No, they do.
Because like, I think about, like, do I really want, like, tomorrow to be impacted by all this shit, too?
I mean, also, you just actually start to think about, like, you snort, like, so let's say you snort cocaine, and you're like, dude, I just pelted my, like, brain stem directly with, like, a heinous chemical. It just starts to, you're like, this is so dumb. Like, it's like I just like snorted up like.
Well, cocaine,
chemical,
I'm not doing again for a long time with all the fentanyl.
For a long time, meaning until next week.
It's offered. No, with all the fentanyl in it.
I mean, most drugs. Like, I never once took a pill. Like, I've never taken any kind of pills. I've just always been against that. Now I see people like if you're in your mid-20s and you take pills, like, I will stay away from you because like.
Well, some people continue that like college party lifestyle into their 20s and they go out to clubs every night and they do pills and fucking Molly and
and they're pretty cool
and they're awesome kids, you're thinking like them, but I think the way that we live our life is much better. We are superior human beings.
We are. We really are above them.
Yes,
above them all, right?
Drugs are bad.
Whatever you guys say. I feel like my consciousness is so lucid right now. Jesus Christ.
All right.
Drugs are bad.
Before Manny loses his mind, I guess we'll bring it to an end.
I want to say that drugs are bad and you should wait until marriage to have sex.
Thank you. Anyway, so all
right.
Thank you for all listening.
And you shouldn't use any foul language, also.
Yeah.
And
Netflix should pull Dave Chappelle's special, The Closer, and apologize directly to the trans community.
And the only actually what should happen is that the Netflix CEO should get rammed with a dildo.
Yeah, they should like tie him up and like hold a dildo over like a flaming hot
ram it up over.
Just like hold a really hot like kind of like what Method Man's like tie him up.
Wait,
and, like,
since
stick
Tom
it in
and
his ass slow.
So Tom and Manny don't understand. I'm being sarcastic, guys. Just so because I know you guys don't pick up on that shit. That was a joke. I was being sarcastic.
Yeah,
I don't actually believe that.
See, I was being fully serious, and I'm kind of offended by the fact that you're going back now on all those points that I very much agreed with. And I don't know if we can keep this going if this is the way you view the world.
You mean this episode? Well, perfect timing.
Perfect timing. All right, guys. Thanks for listening, Manny.
Bye.
Any closing statements?
Nope. Thanks for having me, guys.